Okay, just let me undock and we will begin. First of all, please follow my instructions and don't touch any controls until I tell you. If you want to review previous messages, just press F1. Let's try it now. First, let's make sure that all the controls are working. You can never be certain with these old ships. Rotate the ship up and down. This direction is also called pitch axis. Next, rotate left and right. This is called yaw. Good. Now roll the ship left and right. Okay, now accelerate forward. Just don't hit the station. Notice that if you stop accelerating, the ship will automatically slow down to a halt. You can also move in lateral directions. This is not necessary, but sometimes can be helpful. You can try them now if you want. Now, let's look at your helmet-mounted display, or HMD. I'll turn it off, and we'll switch on different parts explaining them. First, this is your velocity vector indicator, VVI in short. It shows you in which direction you're flying. Your velocity is shown on the center display, or below on the HMD. Your current checkpoint is represented by the red circle. All you need to do is fly through those circles. The next checkpoint is shown by a green circle. Let's fly around the track while I'll be explaining the rest of them. Keep facing the current checkpoint, while I will control the speed. If you can't see the current checkpoint, you can follow the arrows at the center. These two compasses show direction in pitch and yaw to different points of interest. They range from 0, which is in front of the plane, to 180, which is behind it. Red and green rectangles represent checkpoints. And arrows show angles to ship's current course. If both arrows are aligned with the red rectangle, you're flying towards the current checkpoint, even if you're not facing it. Now, try to fly through 3 gates using just those compasses. Good. There's one more important indicator on the HMD. It shows up after a collision and basically displays the capacity of the ship's damage protection system. You can also hear the spinning of the system's wheels when it's working. The system will gradually regenerate, but if this bar will reach the top limit, it will overload and break down. Everything else on the HMD is self-explanatory. The last thing you need to learn today is the float function. Try it now. As you can see, in float mode, the ship will no longer try to fly forward. This can be useful on many occasions. For example, it can be used to lock the ship's course to the current checkpoint. Let's try this now. As soon as you fly towards the current checkpoint, hold float and turn to face the next checkpoint. Good. That is all for today. In the next lesson, I will teach you how to turn properly. For now, you can try the free flight practice. This lesson will be about turning, which is slightly more complicated than you might expect. As you know, there's no friction in space, so technically just rotating the ship won't change anything. Every time you turn, the ship needs to fire the necessary thrusters to stop flying in the current direction and accelerate in the new one. Luckily, unless you're in float mode, the flight computer will do that automatically. The problem is that the maneuvering thrusters are generally too weak to keep up at higher velocities. That's why it's much better to use your main engine to change directions. To do that, just rotate past the target and push the accelerator. This technique is what we call a power slide. So, once we undock, I'll give you full control of the ship's rotation. I'll still be controlling the speed. Now, face the first checkpoint. Before we start with the power slide, there's one more important thing to remember. Always turn in the pitch axis, that is to say, up or down. That way, you'll change direction twice as fast. Feel free to try pitch and yaw turns during the first lap. Okay, first I'll reduce the power of the engines to slow things down. Don't move for a bit. Now, let's get straight to it. For now, just follow my directions. When you're ready, face the current checkpoint and roll to keep the next one above you. Rotate. Stop the rotation. Look at the pitch compass. Face the checkpoint. And that's it. Wasn't that hard, wasn't it? Let's try again. Rotate. Stop the rotation. And face the check. Good. Now do that again, but this time on your own. Nice. Now let's do the same thing, but with full power. Try to complete 2 turns. Face the checkpoint if you want to begin. Excellent. Now let's head to the second track, where we'll deal with different kinds of turns. Face the new checkpoint so we can go there. Don't worry if you'll miss the checkpoint here, just turn around and fly through. In the meantime, I'll be explaining how to tackle them. The trick with different turns is that you have to predict how far you need to rotate to avoid missing the checkpoint. The best way to do this is to first assess how sharp that turn is. Generally, if you can see both checkpoints at the same time, you'll need very slight or even no power slide. On the other hand, if the turn is sharp, be ready to pull more angles. Now, try to fly through 4 consecutive checkpoints without missing them. Don't get discouraged if you miss. Just try to think what you did wrong and do it right on the next try. I'll also try to give you some advice. Okay, let's start counting. 3 to go. Two left. Just 1 more. Very good. I think it's time to step up the difficulty one last time. Let's go to the next track. In this one, you'll find turns in any directions. So, apart from deciding the best power slide angle, you also need to roll the ship constantly to keep turning in the pitch axis. It's really not that hard once you get used to it. If you're flying straight into a checkpoint, just roll the ship to have the next above or below you. If you had to turn without facing the checkpoint, try to keep your velocity vector in pitch. To do that, just roll the ship until you're sliding up or down. You can use your surroundings or the top compass to help you with that. Now, if you'll manage to complete 1 full lap without missing a single gate, I'll let you go. We'll start at the beginning of a new lap. Good luck. You need to rotate more next time. We'll start again at the first checkpoint. Good luck. You're halfway there. Two gates and you're done. One more. Excellent. You did a really good job today. As I've said, that is all for now. Tomorrow, you'll learn how to control your speed. Until that, I highly recommend that you try the new practice sessions. Now, let's go home.